happened again. Yeah, like, like you might have to pay your rates and get your fucking registration, pay for your registration or whatever people with cars do, and pay the lawnmower or book him or, whatever, but, like, you, yeah. But the thing is that doesn't work for me because I have to do everything at once. Like, I have to. There's almost like I'm not the kind of person who needs to be counselled into these kind of realities. Like, come on, just deal with what's on your plate. Don't put things on your plate that don't belong there. Just focus on what you actually need to do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't let your brain fool you into thinking you've got things you don't need to do. I have to do fucking everything all at once. Because I don't know what's going to happen, and I've got to do so many fucking things, and I don't feel like I can do any of them much in this thing. Yesterday I was just like, because I'm always just trying to find someone who can be by my side, and like I've got a little bit of money that has been lent to me, and I've got to think about the best use of it. It was going to go to some sort of legal stuff, but it's that ship has sailed. And I thought, I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh yeah, I thought, because I need some sort of help, and I need so many different kinds of help. And then one kind of help that would just be amazing is just someone to talk to. And there are a couple of very kind people in my life, but what I need is someone who knows how to talk to someone like me, because it's not how you talk to just anybody who's having a hard time. It's a very different skill set, and it's very specialised. It's not at all intuitive. It has to be trained, and yet there has to be some sort of ability to understand naturally, even if it isn't intuitive. And it's trauma-informed therapy, and as I explained it to a mental health nurse who said, hey, that's really good, I'll remember that, I might use that. I said, trauma-informed therapy is like, you're not asking a series of questions to get answers, and you're certainly not giving any fucking advice. Your job is to understand what your patient is going through, and during that process help them understand what they're going through. And having watched a bit of this, and I love analogies, and I like turning what people say into analogies that are like heuristics for me to understand, and then I can also pass them on, because I think a lot of people do quite well with analogies. SPs aren't supposed to do well with analogies, but I do really great with them. It's like restoring an old painting. And if you get an old painting from like Rembrandt or something like that, and it's covered in centuries of whatever, I don't know, wherever it's been stashed, coal dust, I don't know. you don't go in with a fucking scrubbing brush. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's painstaking. You have these little fucking gloves, very thin gloves, and like a whole bunch of brushes and all kinds of different textured kind of things. And I don't know what substance they use to can take the layers of grime off, but it's not terps. And it's very rewarding for the right kind of person and fucking infuriating for pretty much everybody else. But you just dab. And you don't dab, like, you don't start, right, we're going to, like, it's not like doing an archaeological dig where you know, section out the area. Well, I mean, maybe there's an element to that. I mean, it's not like archaeology doesn't require a lot of delicacy as well, but you've kind of got to go, where the picture lets you, because you can really re-traumatize. You can traumatize someone extremely badly by treating them very roughly during a mental health interview, which has happened to me many times, and also you can push them into places that are very frightening for them. You just have to I don't know, it's a skill. I don't have it. But you're just slowly, painstakingly helping them to uncover the trauma, but both the effect of it and largely the cause of it, right? And and traumatize people. Like I read this thing and like Instagram is my therapist just because of the people that I follow. There's some very good wisdom there, and it's really helped me a lot. And there was something that said, you know, the children who need the most love ask for it in the most unloving ways. And it's like, well, you know, I'm not a child, but, you know, the same thing with an adult. Like, fucking everybody fucking hates me. No. I'm not just feeling sorry for myself. I mean, like, really, like, people don't like me and they don't want to help me, apart from a few very kind people. Yeah. And so desperate for love. I think it's just this fucking unbearable yearning for some love. And there's a lot I can do for myself, but it's a really desperate feeling, and it can come pretty close to being unbearable. And it's often a very bad idea to try to ask for love when you're this damaged, because I'm not saying people aren't justified in disliking me and misunderstanding me, but I'm just saying it's it's just catastrophic for for me, for the person who's in this. And I know I've judged a lot of people like me, and I can't even really feel guilty about it, because I realise that there's no way to tell the difference between trauma and just being horrible. And I've been watching when I can kind of cope with it, and sometimes it's what I want to see. A lot of animal rescue, like a lot of street animals get rescued, and I take it from the accents and the colours of the backs of the hands that I usually see that these are probably street animals, and yeah, probably like South Asia. Yeah, my late dad spent quite a bit of time in India, and yeah, I know he made enough oblique references to the animal suffering that he saw, and he knew to pull his punch. He knew that it was quite enough for me to understand. And yeah, I know that all the videos that I come across my feed on YouTube are going to be happy endings, but you just see these desperate fucking creatures, and a lot of them, and especially the kittens, like they're really aggressive. Like when someone comes near them, they like, and it's pitiful, it's absolutely pitiful, but they, you know, if they could, they would fucking maim or kill that human hand that's coming towards them. They've got no fucking chance of doing it, but that's what they, you know, they just are trying to fend off another predator, and they're fucking half squashed on the ground and covered in fucking, you know, like it's just absolutely, you know. And like that's like humans too. But the humans who reach out to help them, you know, they're trained. Like they're all, you know, they know what they're doing. I don't know what organisations they come from, but, you know, I've donated to a few of those, like WWF, you know, where, I mean, God, street animals in poor countries, you know. And the things that they know. And there's this guy, and I think he's in like Turkey or something, called, I can't remember what his name is, but he's great. And he narrates the whole thing through, and he's always chuckling like Grandpa, like, ah, ha, 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 when he's like nearly getting his hand ripped off by some sort of fucking rabid street dog. He's great. I wish I could remember what his name is. It's a really short name. He has the sanctuary, and yeah, no, he's just so great. And it's just having that fucking understanding. And the thing is that what the analogy with me ends is that the people who reach out to help me, as few as they have been, are not helping me. They are, you know, like if you've got a kitten, I mean, I could use, like, I mean, the analogy is the same. These things are absolutely fucking traumatised. They really are. I mean, animals, sorry, but they may not have as complex emotions and thoughts as we do. Well, they don't. Their thoughts probably aren't anything near as complex, but their emotional ranges tragically pretty much the fucking same. And you know how dogs love to have their bottoms scratched, you know, like bottom scratches. Oh, yes. And you know, if you like sometimes massage an animal's muscle, or, you know, the cat really likes this, and it's like, you know, that they feel that like we feel that. And do you know what you're doing when you're fucking boiling a dog alive in oil? Like, it's just like, you can't have that sensitivity to pleasure without the sensitivity to pain. And the thing is that when a human has misdiagnosed an animal's plight, like I fucking did, man. Like I was the duck. I was the duck botherer when I first arrived here. Like this is a perfect fucking example. It's like, well, it's not perfect because the duck wasn't injured. He was just fucking minding his own business. But when I came here, it's just like, oh my God, there are ducks just in the street. What's wrong? What's happened? And I was like, I saw a few months ago, not long after I moved in here, I saw this duck, a kind of young adult duck outside on the street, and it was it still had a bit of fluff, and I was like, oh no, it's not a mature duck yet. And it was in like a neighbour, it was just some quite close to the marae, and it was in the driveway of the house next to the marae. And I'm like, oh no, where's your mum? Like, you need to go somewhere safe. And I was trying to catch it, and then sometimes it would run at me. And I'm like, yes, come to mama, I'll save you. And, but I couldn't, it ran at me a couple of times, but it would never come into my arms so I could take it to safety. And eventually it just went around the corner, and there's this, and it's a bit of a scungy stream, but it's like quite dried out, but there is a stream actually that goes under the street on the kind of at the border property of the marae, and he hopped into that, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right, Christchurch has streams fucking everywhere. So like there's ducks freaking everywhere, and I went back to Google what had happened. And it turns out when the ducks run at you, they're just they're trying to scare you off. It's aggression, like. It's like, oh no, I was trying to rescue a duck, but I was harassing it and making it really unhappy. And the thing is, it's not a perfect analogy because, of course, that duck wasn't injured. But the thing is that people can come in and help in ways that are not fucking helpful. And I've just got to this point when people say, well, I was just trying to help. I've got to the point where I've said a few times, this isn't about you. And it took me years to figure out why is I was just trying to help such a horrifically awful thing to fucking say to someone when you're imposing something really unhelpful and even perhaps harmful on them. Why is that such a horrible... And then I was just like, because helping someone's about the person who needs help, not you fucking dickhead. Trying to say I'm just trying to help, to me is just a fucking giveaway. It's like, now you're the victim because your help has been rejected. It's just like, like it's just like it's just a horrifically inappropriate thing to say to somebody. You can extricate yourself from the situation and not try again, but don't ever say I was just trying to help as if that's a justification for harming someone further. Like, you got it wrong. You don't have to necessarily say I was wrong, because you're not supposed to know people aren't born trained to know how to deal with people in distress. But don't make it about you. Fuck, man, that's fucking horrific. And so, like if you've got a broken leg or something, it's like, as I kept saying to people very early on, I'm like, You cannot fucking talk to a trauma victim like you're talking to me. The way you're talking to me is like walking up to a person lying on the ground and trying to move them when they've had a big fall from a few stories up, and you know that, and you're trying to sit them up, and you know, it's like, can you just, only people would just focus on the fact that they know virtually nothing. We all know virtually nothing. And we know virtually everything that there is to know, we don't know. And the things that we know that we don't know are fucking tiny, and we need to really work on making that bit bigger. Knowing what you don't fucking know, and just going, you know what, I don't think I'm the right person to make a call in this situation. Let's try to find someone who does. And if a paramedic or someone like you don't, you know, like the examples I've given, because I've read about this stuff, because I'm curious and I'm really risk focused, and I like understanding causal chains, you know. So here's things that can go wrong if you move someone who's lying on the ground after a fall. You could complete a internal decapitation, which is curtains. You can do other spinal damage with all kinds of fucking, you know, unbearable conditions. You could, there could be a compound fracture or another internal really big fracture that, if moved, then, you know, there's like bones can shear off and turn into like a shiv that gets into a fucking artery. They can bleed out internally as well. You just never fucking know. Leave it to the people who have fucking trained. And even the people who have trained to come and help that person, they're not going to fucking do shit. They're going to wait till they get to the doctor, you know. So the number of people who have come in like, oh, I'm just going to move you because you can't make your own decision to move. And I'm like, you are just about to give me, and you're just about to like sever my head from my fucking spine. You know, can you not? And then when they keep going, you get kind of like defensive, and then you get aggressive. And then the more people who do this, the fewer people you want to fucking have anything the fuck to do with. And I've met so many fucking shitty people, and before I started getting assertive, and shit, I've become assertive. Assertiveness is my middle fucking name, and I just have to be very careful that I'm not assertive with the wrong fucking person, because, yeah, because I can get very assertive, and that can go very wrong with people who don't like it. I can be aggressive too. I'm not trying to confuse the two. I'm very aggressive sometimes. I'm very aggressive, and I go pretty fucking loopy, as I think everyone who's ever met me has realised. Traumatised people do not behave, and nor are they able to behave, and nor should they be expected to behave like a healthy member of society who has not been fucking dropped on their head. Jeez, like, wish I had a walleye or something. I just wish I had something that just showed as a fucking dumbass. Oh my god, there's so many things I can do to mark myself as a dumbass. Oh my god, there are so many things I can do. I've still got some dress ups that I brought here. Like, yeah, I can look impaired. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I just wanted to keep this bit of this diary for the psychiatrist, so I could be prepared to answer some of her questions rather than just go, like, because when I got taken out of here to go to Hillmorton, and all I had to do under that section, because there's different sections that they can grab you under, all I had to do was attend an assessment session to see if I needed to be held for 5 days of assessment. I just needed to go and talk to a psychiatrist so they could decide whether or not I needed to be admitted. And we get to Hillmorton, and the psychiatrist there, and I've spoken about this ages ago. I really, honestly, I really didn't think. I do not think he wanted to be there. Like, can everyone just have a bit of notice? Jesus fucking Christ. Imagine going into a job interview just after being abducted by the fucking police. Do you think you're going to pass the fucking competent test? Do you think you're going to look sane? Fuck. And he was just asking me these rapid fire questions, these diagnostic questions. And I'm like, first of all, look, shrink, you know that my autonomic nervous system, you know that my cardiovascular, I'm in fight or flight right now. That's just a normal fucking thing that happens when you're sitting on your sofa, having a glass of wine, talking to your camera about how you think you figured out what your jaw problem is and it's dislocated. And then fucking 4 guys walk in and 2 of them are cops, and they're like, "You're nicked, mate." Like, what do you fucking think you're going to be interviewing? Oh my god. That's not how you're supposed to do an uplift, by the way. That ain't fucking not how you're supposed to do it. It's so fucking illegal. And he was asking me these questions, and I said, I can't answer your questions in this order. This is not how I can answer your questions. And he just went fucking 5 days and walked off. And I'm like, oh my god. Sorry, but I wasn't given any fucking preparation time to talk to a fucking psychiatrist. So I'm trying to prepare this time. And I thought I'll write it down in diary format, but I just can't. So here I am again. And I wanted to say other things as well, but I think I'll save them for tomorrow because I'm quite tired.